They did it again. WWE just proved they have zero respect for LA Knight, and if you're not absolutely furious after watching this week's Raw, then you weren't paying attention. While LA Knight is out here busting his back, putting on 5-star performances week after week, getting the loudest reactions in the entire arena, louder than your so-called top champions, WWE is setting him up for yet another sacrificial slaughter against Gunther. And don't even get me started on the Judgment Day crawling back like cockroaches that just won't die. This episode of Raw was a masterclass in how to disrespect your most over talent while recycling the same tired storylines we've seen 1,000 times. Let me paint you the picture of what went down on the 1st of December, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're either going to be ready to riot or you're going to finally admit that WWE doesn't care about what you, the fans, actually want. LA Knight opened the show, and as always, the man had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. The place was electric. People weren't just cheering, they were losing their minds for this man. And what does he get for being the most organically over superstar on the entire roster? He gets thrown into the lion's den with Gunther, the ring general himself, who's been mowing down everyone in his path like they are practice dummies at the performance center. Now look, I respect Gunther. The man's a gene-rational talent, an absolute workhorse, and his matches are consistently brutal masterpieces. But here's where WWE is playing us all for fools. They are building this match as if LA Knight even has a chance. They are giving us hope, dangling the carrot in front of our faces, making us believe that maybe, just maybe, this is Knight's moment to break through to that next level. But we all know how this story ends, don't we? Knight's going to put on the performance of a lifetime, the crowd's going to be chanting yeah until their throats are raw, and then Gunther's going to chop his chest into hamburger meat and pin him clean in the middle of the ring. Here's my first question for you. Do you genuinely believe WWE will let LA Knight beat Gunther, or are they just using him to make Gunther look even more unstoppable? Drop your honest answers in the comments right now. The segment itself was peak LA Knight. He grabbed that microphone and reminded everyone why he's got the best promo game in WWE today, and I'm including everyone in that statement. He talked about how he's been grinding for years, how he's been overlooked, underutilized, and underestimated at every single turn. He's not wrong. This is the same man who was killing it in NXT, got called up to the main roster, and then got stuck in the maximum male models, arguably one of the worst gimmicks in recent WWE history. They tried to bury him alive, and somehow, through sheer force of will and undeniable charisma, Knight clawed his way out of that grave and made himself impossible to ignore. And the crowd? They were hanging on every single word. When he said he was going to take Gunther's Intercontinental Championship and finally get the respect he deserves, you could feel the building shake. But here's the thing that's eating away at me. WWE has conditioned us to not believe in these moments anymore. How many times have we seen them build up a babyface, get us invested, make us care, only to pull the rug out from under us at the last second because they have other plans? Gunther eventually came out, and the stare down was absolutely money. Two completely different styles, two completely different presentations, but both men oozing with intensity. Gunther didn't need to say much, he let his championship do the talking. He simply raised that title, gave Knight that cold, emotionless stare that says you're just another name on my list, and walked away. That's the thing about Gunther, he doesn't need 20-minute promos to get his point across. His presence alone is suffocating. But let's talk about the elephant in the room that nobody in WWE's production truck wants to acknowledge. LA Knight is more over than most of their protected champions. He gets better reactions than people they've spent years building up. He moves more merchandise than guys who are supposed to be their golden boys. And yet, he's consistently booked like he's lucky to be there. It's insulting. It's frustrating. And if you're not mad about it, then you're part of the problem. Second question for the comments, who's more over right now, LA Knight or Cody Rhodes? And before you come at me, really think about the crowd reactions over the past few months. Now, let's shift gears to the absolute circus that was the Judgment Day's return. Oh, you thought they were done? You thought after Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominik Mysterio tore each other apart in their civil war that we'd finally be free from this faction? Think again, because WWE loves nothing more than beating a dead horse until it disintegrates into dust. The Judgment Day is back, and somehow they expect us to care. Finn Balor came out acting like a messiah who's reunited his fallen disciples, talking about how they are stronger than ever and how they are going to dominate Raw once again. The same promo we've heard 50 times, the same threats, the same posturing. It's like watching reruns of a show you weren't that interested in the first time around. Here's what drives me absolutely insane about this reunion: there were no consequences. These guys spent months feuding with each other. Dominik turned on his family. Priest and Baylor had a blood feud. There were betrayals, ambushes, emotional promos about brotherhood and loyalty being destroyed. And now they are just back together? Because WWE said so. Where's the story? Where's the character development? Where's the reason for us to invest in anything these people do if nothing actually matters? The crowd was dead during their segment. Dead. You could hear individual conversations in the arena because nobody cared. And why would they? We've seen this exact faction do this exact thing for almost 3 years now. They come out, they act tough, they beat up some lower card guys, maybe win some titles, and then inevitably implode again because that's the only story WWE knows how to tell with stables anymore. What made the Judgment Day interesting in the beginning was the unpredictability, the chaos, the genuine tension between members. Now it's just 4 people standing in matching gear reading scripted dialogue that sounds like it was written by an algorithm that studied every faction promo from the past decade and spat out the most generic result possible. Third question, are you actually excited about the Judgment Day being back together, or would you rather see all of them in separate singles runs? Be honest in the comments. The rest of the show had its moments, don't get me wrong. We got some solid in-ring action, a few surprises, and the usual Raw chaos that keeps us coming back every Monday night. But nothing, and I mean nothing, hit harder than the main story threads, and both of them left me with more questions than answers. The real issue here is the pattern we keep seeing. WWE has this incredible talent in LA Knight who has organically gotten himself over without the machine behind him. He's done it through pure skill, charisma, and connection with the audience. And instead of capitalizing on that, instead of striking while the iron is nuclear hot, they are positioning him for what looks like another high-profile loss. Because God forbid they actually pull the trigger on someone the fans are choosing to support rather than someone corporate has decided should be the guy. And with the Judgment Day, we're watching WWE refuse to let anything actually end. Everything has to be dragged out, recycled, and repackaged until every ounce of heat and interest has been squeezed out of it. Sometimes a story needs to end. Sometimes characters need to move on. Sometimes the audience needs something new instead of the same meal reheated for the 1000th time. Here's what needs to happen. LA Knight needs to beat Gunther. I don't care if it's clean, I don't care if it's dirty, I don't care if it takes outside interference from half the roster. Knight needs that championship. Not because I don't respect Gunther's run, but because LA Knight has earned it. He's earned the trust of the audience, he's earned his spot at the top, and WWE needs to show us that they actually listen to their fans occasionally. As for the Judgment Day, either give us a compelling reason why they are back together or split them up for good. Give Finn Balor a meaningful singles run. Let Damian Priest be the baddest monster he's capable of being on his own. Give Dominik a storyline that doesn't involve him whining about his family for the 10,000th time. These are all talented performers being wasted on a storyline that's been on life support for months. Final question for all of you, if you were booking Raw, would you have LA Knight beat Gunther, and what would you do with the Judgment Day? Give me your fantasy booking in the comments because I guarantee most of you could write something more interesting than what we're getting. December 1 STS Raw was a perfect example of WWE's biggest problem right now. They have all the ingredients for something special, but they keep making the same recipe that stopped tasting good years ago. LA Knight is a bona fide superstar being treated like a stepping stone. The Judgment Day is a creative dead end being presented as must-see television. And we, the fans, are supposed to just accept it and keep watching. Well, I'm not accepting it. LA Knight deserves better. We deserve better. And if this video made you even half as fired up as I am, then hit that like button, share this with every wrestling fan you know, and let's make enough noise that maybe, just maybe, WWE will actually listen for once. The ball is in your court, WWE, don't drop it.